Hi everyone, and thanks for being here. A great place to start with infrastructure and multi-cloud monitoring is right here in the Infrastructure Navigator. Here we can visualize your hosts, containers, and other resources across the public and private cloud, as well as systems and services you have on premise. Currently, we are looking at hosts that have been instrumented with our Smart Agent and sending real-time infrastructure metrics. Each of these boxes in the heat map represents a single host or instance with the heat color representing the selected metric. In this case, it's CPU utilization. These can change to other default metrics, but for right now, we're just going to leave this with CPU utilization. Since Splunk metrics collection has been built from the ground up to understand dimensions or split by, let's use that detail to focus in on a specific subset of the environment. Let's start with Kubernetes clusters. I've heard Kubernetes is kind of a big deal. So now that we have a number of clusters, with this, right from the top, we can start using the out-of-the-box analytics Splunk provides. In this case, switch the tab and we're starting to find outlying behavior across the population using deviation from mean, or we can use deviation from median. In this example, what we're seeing is we're seeing 3 different instances which all have CPU utilization ranging from 39 to 41 depending on the time that you look at them. The remainder of the instances in this environment are ranging from a CPU utilization of 1 to 26%. So doing the math real quick, doing 3 standard deviations, you'll see why these do show up as red. This is just a good indicator of how and why this analytics behavior works. If we drill into one of these, and click on it, we'll be able to see the system metrics that not only are CPU utilization like we've been talking about, but also memory used, total network detailing, disk usage, more granular information like load average, memory paging, as well as I/O at the disk and network level. Logically, if you're liking what you see, the next obvious question is, well, how do I get these metrics into this system? Well, that's the great part. There's an integrations tab right here at the very top. If we click into the integrations tab, what we're going to see is right at the start, the essential services. The Smart Agent, which collects those off of any instance or host, whether it be hybrid or in the cloud. And then for those services that are based on cloud technologies in AWS or GCP or Azure, we have out-of-the-box configurations. But it doesn't stop there. Whether it be application-specific things like Apache, or your private cloud implementations like OpenStack and Pivotal Cloud Foundry, those out-of-the-box configurations and installation requirements are in each one of these cards with a simple setup guide that's easy to understand and easy to implement. So let's get back to the Infrastructure Navigator, and let's quickly reset everything, and let's take a quick peek at what the system has to offer when it comes to that cloud discussion that we were talking about earlier. Oh boy. Okay, so I'll give you a quick overview of this, but I see a critical alert, and you know what? I probably need to take a look at that. So very quickly, what you're seeing is, again, that out-of-the-box configuration and the heat map configuration. And we're seeing the services that we're subscribed to or leveraging in AWS. And we can see that we already have a critical alert from a system. So let's take a quick peek at that. Okay, so it looks like unhealthy host count on the support ELB. All right, let's see. Okay, it's ELB. Yep. Okay, so let's go and take a quick peek at that one. See if we can very quickly, yep, there it is. That's the one. And because Splunk understands that this data came from AWS and it's specifically related to the elastic load balancing capability, we already have out-of-the-box dashboards that provide insight into exactly what's happening. So we can see the routed requests, we can see the healthy hosts, and there's the unhealthy hosts. And, oh man, this is not good. I'm starting to see a ton of 500 errors. And there's errors in that AZ. Oh, this is not good. Alright, so it's time for me to take a deep dive into this. Anytime that you see these three dots, that means that there's something additional that can be done or discovered. And so in this case, we're going to look at these details and quickly go directly into the logs of this elastic load balancer. So we can see the average response time, the successful connections are going down, the denied connections, just here a second ago, it looks like they're going up. Yep, I can see them going up. We can quickly see that there's a distribution of these, and it looks like 503 is all of a sudden becoming a lot bigger. That does not give me any level of comfort. I can see that this is coming from our, it looks like our support portal. So this must be the load balancer in front of our support portal. And it looks like this is definitely not a user agent specific problem, just simply because of the number of combinations that I have here between Windows and Safari and Linux and Firefox. And it's definitely not a geographic issue, because I can see that, it's basically all of these requests are coming from, all over the world. So maybe I can go back in and take a quick look at the infrastructure again, and maybe we can see what else is going on here. All right, and we'll start out with, let's go to the hosts and take a look at those. Okay, I see a couple of yellows. You know what? Let's see what's going on here. That's an Apache server, so okay. Oh man, CPU is on the rise with this bad boy too. All right. Looks like network connections are down. Definitely looks like we're starting to go up on that upward trend in the 2-minute dimension. And disk and network I/O looks like it's going down. Well, this is problematic. You know what? The smart agent that we talked about, it'll pull all of these infrastructure metrics, but if it does recognize that there's an application on it, it'll start pulling those. So we're seeing that the smart agent has pulled Apache metrics, and the system recognized that, so it's already configured that to be the next logical step. So these pre-configured dashboards are already available and at our disposal to start the investigation of what's going on here. So we can see, bytes received and requested. We can see the request per second. We can see more specifically the worker threads, and it looks like there's a massive spike. But at the same time, the available number of spare threads is next to nothing. Let's go ahead and click into this. And at that point in time, we're starting to see this data table. And what that does is it gives us the host, but more importantly, it gives us what is, yep, as I suspected, that support portal that we were talking about is right here. And again, you know what? We can use those three dots, and we can go ahead and let's look at the access details for this. This is hopefully going to be telling. Okay, so we see response time, successful connections went down to 0. Denied connections, while it says it's going down, it looks like that's the only type of connection that we have in this server. Definitely on the rise from a denied HTTP status perspective. And yep, I can see that there was something that occurred right there. Okay, well, I guess the proof is kind of in the pudding. DNS lookup failures. Man, this is not good. You know what? I don't really think I need to go too much further now. I have a good idea and understanding of what I need to go and work with this team on. It looks like that elastic load balancer is serving the requests as expected, but it's getting the return response that the web server is getting, and that looks to be because of this DNS lookup failure issue. I hope that this has been beneficial, but unfortunately I do have to run and start working with that team.